Republicans in Congress have made clear that one thing on their agenda is to defund Planned Parenthood. Now, as you can imagine, there are a number of people who rely on Planned Parenthood for their various services, and they're not too happy about the fact that Congress is going after the organization. So, as a result, 87,000 people signed a petition urging Congress not to defund Planned Parenthood, and the petition was going to be presented to Paul Ryan. Well, it turns out that Paul Ryan literally, physically stopped the delivery of that petition. According to reports, in response, Ryan sent out 6 security guards in order to block the delivery and also had a sign on his door that read, "Only scheduled appointments will be admitted." Now, it doesn't surprise me that that's what his reaction was, but you should keep in mind that regardless of what his political ideology is, this is an individual who is supposed to represent the people. And if he's presented with a huge petition that has that many signatures on it, those people should get some level of respect, some level of a response or reaction or acknowledgement of what their concerns are. But our politicians have no interest in representing us or our concerns whatsoever, and this is a perfect example of that.
So if you really believe in your position, why would you be embarrassed to take this petition, right? So for example, let's say I'm a congressman and I want to get money out of politics, and somebody delivers $87,000 petition, 87,000 signatures on a petition that says, no, money in politics is awesome. I love when congressmen are bribed. I'd take the petition. I'd be like, okay, that's like your opinion, man. You couldn't be more wrong. And I'm happy to take it and use it in a bonfire, but okay, but that's okay. You're also my constituents.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you, and I'll tell you to your face I don't agree with you. I think legalized bribery is awful, right? So if you think Planned Parenthood is awful and you're not embarrassed about it, why don't you just take the signatures? Why don't you come out there and greet them and tell them how awful Planned Parenthood is? That's because you're actually a little bit embarrassed about your position.
Right, and look, a lot of people do rely on Planned Parenthood. So if they can't afford to go to their primary care physician, or if they don't have insurance yet, they'll go to Planned Parenthood. If they don't have the income to pay for the services, Planned Parenthood will do it pro bono, which is why it's so important to have something like that out there. And so the right wing will continuously smear Planned Parenthood as an organization that just does abortions. That's all they do, right? But that's not the case at all. In fact, they're not allowed to use taxpayer money toward abortions, okay? The Hyde Amendment bars them from doing that. And also, here's a list of all the different things that they do for men and women. So STD screenings and treatments, okay? Of course, contraception, cancer screening and prevention. That includes Pap tests, which are pretty expensive if you don't have insurance and you go to a regular doctor, HPV vaccinations, breast exams and breast care. I didn't even know this, colposcopy procedures. So that's like when they do like a biopsy to see whether or not you have cervical cancer if a pap smear comes out abnormal.
Well, this all sounds pretty dangerous so far.
By the way, that's a really expensive procedure, like super expensive if you go to a
What,
regular
we're helping poor people actually stay healthy? Yuck. And keeping Americans healthy, that does sound pretty dangerous.
So cryotherapy procedures, that's if you have precancerous cells or what could potentially be precancerous cells in your cervix. They'll do cryotherapy procedures to basically freeze those cells so you don't have that develop into actual cancer.
They seem pretty obsessed with preventing cancer.
Man, it sounds like they really want to care for people and make sure they don't die. Terrible, let's defund them. Other women's services include pregnancy tests, prenatal services, and then, by the way, family practice services for women and men, adoption referrals to other agencies. Terrible, defund them. Again, only a tiny fraction of what they do is abortions, okay? So if they want to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which, by the way, I don't think they're actually going to do because it's a huge corporate plan that I think private insurance companies love. But if they wanted to do that, if they wanted to cut services pertaining to health care, and then they do away with something like Planned Parenthood, so what are they going to do to replace it?
Nothing. They
Nothing.
don't care. Like poor people dying. Why would I care? Wait, did they write a check to me? They didn't write a check to me. If they're not my donor, I couldn't care less. That's what Republican politicians think. That's why they're embarrassed. That's not why they don't want to take that petition and they want to bar the door. So look, Alan Grayson used to say this and people get upset, but if they are successful in shutting down Planned Parenthood, less people will get those screenings and more people will get cancer and they'll die from cancer. So that is the consequence of that vote. It is. Whether you like it or not, whether that makes you uncomfortable or not, if you defund Planned Parenthood, a lot more people in the country will die from cancer. But hey, on the other hand, Republicans get to put their morality, that's their morality. They get to put their morality on us and say, well, I got to prevent you from doing something you want to do with your own body. And so if all those thousands of people died from cancer, so what? I'm more moral than you. I let them die because I'm the moral person. So that's why he didn't take the petitions, because he knows that his actions are actually deeply immoral. You're at the end of this video, so the Young Turks is over. Wrong! The Young Turks is just beginning. Membership gives you the full 2-hour show, plus all of our member shows, old school, aggressive, progressive, TYT postgame every single day. Join and come and see how great membership is. TYTnetwork.com/join.